Good evening. How many of you believe your culture or environment of your organization is a competitive advantage? We got a few of you, absolutely. You know, I truly believe that in today's competitive world for employees, we have to have the right environment. Culture and strategy are so powerful and important, but if we get the culture right, we have a powerful event that we can create. So we as leaders, we've got to drive our culture. We have to live it through our behaviors every single day. Leadership is about passion and about focus. It's not about position, it's all about action. And we have to have the right behaviors. I'm going to teach you a concept that I believe every one of your organizations can implement and will make a huge change. I truly believe that every day we make a decision, every second of every day. We make a decision, either we're going to be above the point of power or we're going to be below the point of power. When we're below the point of power, we have blame, excuses, and denial. We blame others why something didn't get done. We make excuses why our work wasn't correct, or we're in denial that we actually have to grow something. That makes us powerless. When we're powerless, we don't believe we can do anything about it. We have to change that. We can no longer be powerless. We need to take an above the point of power direction. We need to take ownership, accountability, and responsibility. Ownership for our actions, accountability for our results, and responsibility for everything that we do. That creates power. Power that brings us energy. Power that brings us excitement. Power that helps us find solutions and not just the problems. That is what great leaders do. They guide it. Most of our folks in our team, and I know none of you in this room, we always hear reasons why something didn't get happen. That's a powerless state. We don't want reasons. We want to keep the power. To keep the power, we need to have results. And results are about taking ownership. It's about being a victor instead of a victim. This is what a culture needs to drive. And us as leaders, we have to drive it by our behaviors and by our actions. So, how many of you in this room have raised teenagers? How many of you were a teenager at some point? Anybody want to go back and be a teenager? Well, there's a couple. There's always one in the room. So how do teenagers act and behave? They behave with an I know mentality. Mom, you don't have to tell me. I already know that. Now, can adults have an I know mentality? Absolutely. I'm sure none of you have ever said this. We tried it before, it didn't work then, it's not going to work now. That's an I know mentality. We have to eliminate that. The I know mentality is a scarcity mindset. We have to have an abundant mindset, and we have to have that type of culture in our organization. Now, I want everybody, instead of saying I know, I want you to say, isn't that interesting? And we're all going to say it on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Now, what happens when we say, isn't that interesting? It opens our mind to new possibilities. We have to think differently. We cannot have that I know mentality. Now, how many of you are having fun in your business right now? Hey, isn't that interesting? We had maybe half the room raise their hand. I truly believe the more fun you have in business, the more people will do business with you. The more fun you have, the more people will want to interact with you. Just as kids do and say what their parents do and say, team members will do and say what their leaders do and say. Again, we have to model it. We have to grow it, because leadership is not about position. Leadership is about behavior, our actions, and our words, and we have to show the way. Now, here is my challenge to every one of you. I want to challenge you to take action now, and it starts with you. I want you to challenge your beliefs, your behaviors, your words. I want you to teach your team to be above the point of power and take ownership. I want you to post it in your break rooms. I want you to discuss it. And now, I want to ask each of you for your commitment. I want you to raise your hand. Can I get everyone in this room to agree that from this moment on, you're going to take an above the point, power of point right now? You've got to take the PowerPoint, so raise your hand. Absolutely, I love it. Every one of you can model that above the point power scenario. And I want you to grow. I want you to change and make that your culture, because it will be a game changer against your competition. Have a great evening.